All right, well, good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the Westmont Village Board meeting for March 19th. I will ask our clerk to call the roll.
Okay, Mayor Nero.
Here.
Clerk Simsky. Here. Trustee Barker.
Here.
Trustee Guzzo.
Here.
Trustee Little.
Here.
Trustee Pirelli.
Here.
Trustee Plowman.
Here.
And Trustee Scales.
Here.
Attorney Zemanek.
Here.
Village Manager Gunther is absent, and Assistant Village Manager Parker.
Here. All right, if everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I think we have one request for open forum, correct? We got one more? Okay, well, first, Laura V. Please come on up. I didn't even want to give it a shot, all right? Thank you for coming.
Okay, good evening, all village board members. I'm here today because we have some violations on 57th Street west of Cass. So I'm gonna read you what our concerns are and see how we could resolve that, because it's going on issues like over 10 years and nothing has been done at all. So I'm submitting this formal complaint and request for enforcement regarding ongoing non-code violations in infrastructure deficiencies at the end of 57th Street west of Cass Avenue with the village of Westmont. These conditions have persisted for multiple years and appear to be a violation of several provision of the village code and zoning ordinance, included but not limited to the following: inadequate turning radius, emergency access. The existing site conditions do not provide adequate turning radius or maneuvering space for emergency vehicles, refuse trucks and postal services vehicles. This raises concerns under generally applicable fire access and sign design standards enforced through the village planning and zoning and fire code review processes. I went to post office and I asked, how come you moved my mailboxes from my house? And the answer was, it's not safe for us to go. So our concern is, if it's not safe to go to post office, how safe is ambulance, fire trucks, and Westmont residences? Non-compliant parking layout. Parking stalls associated with a multi-family development do not appear to comply with village parking standards, including required number of parking spaces per dwelling unit, minimum stall dimensions and proper striping, safe circulation and access as required under Village of Westmont Zoning Ordinance, Article 6 Parking Standards. So it's parking nothing marked, gravel for 10 years, over 10 years, we've never maintained nothing. Cars are 5 business trucks, plowing trucks, arrested, parked there. It's no registration, no stickers on the plates. We called police, we said if the cars are standing, it's okay without license plate and stickers. Garbage container violations, sanitation issues. Garbage containers are not maintained or located in compliance with village requirements, including lack of proper enclosure or screening, unsanitary conditions, and improper placement. This appears inconsistent with Chapter 66, solid waste regulations, zoning requirements for screening, refuse enclosure for multi-family properties. So is there 5 families living, and litter is all over, consistent like all the time. Failure to maintain roadway pavement conditions. The roadway serving the development has not been properly maintained and it is deteriorated condition. This raises concerns under village property maintenance and public infrastructure standards requiring safe and properly maintained paved surfaces. Unauthorized commercial vehicles, like I mentioned, commercial vehicles not registered to the property are being parked on grass areas. This appears to violate zoning regulations governing permitted vehicle parking, property maintenance standards prohibiting parking on unpaved surfaces. Given the duration or cumulative impact of these issues, I respectfully request the following: a formal inspection of the property and surrounding area, written determination of all applicable code violations, enforcement action and compliance deadlines, coordination between code enforcement, public works, and planning and zoning department. So we are available to meet on the site if you need for us to go with all conditions. And if you need any, I collecting those years how bad pictures. I spoke with Jason, I think he left last year. My car was tires flat because neighbor decided to put sharp metal things, and my tires were flat, which has cost me $2,000 to fix it. I submitted to town, nothing was done. He came, he took it out with sharp pieces, and that's it. I kept the sharp pieces in my garage, and I have all the expenses what it was flat tires. So.
Well, thank you. No, I appreciate you coming and sharing that. I know staff is aware of this, so I think before you leave, Joe, you mind raising your hand? It's our community development director there. I would just visit with him, and I think you might get a little update there, and we can discuss next steps, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Okay, moving on, we have one more request for open forum. Laurel Rugen, please come on up. Hi.
Hi, I live at 513 North Grant Street, and the last few days, we're wondering, me and my neighbors, what exactly is going on. They've been marking everything with, for gas, electric, water, going into people's backyards. All of a sudden, there's equipment and all kinds of stuff, and I live between Traub and Ogden, and we just would like to know what's going on. We haven't been notified about anything. At least I know I haven't received anything. So, just kind of, can we get a heads up? I mean, they have their trucks. My driveway keeps getting blocked, so I can't get in and out. And it's just, well, what's going on? What are they going to be digging up? And, what all is this entailing? So we're just kind of curious and like to get a few answers on that.
I'm curious too, valid question. Just like the last lady, I'd like you to have to chat with our Public Works Director. She may have an update for you on what it is. It may even be a different entity of government. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I know we have a lot of work going on in town, but she'll be able to give you at least some guidance and a little more information than I can.
Okay,
But
thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate it. Okay, I think that's all, correct? All right, moving right on to reports. First is mine. Again, a special congratulations to our Westmont Junior High Panthers wrestling team, state champions, which is awesome. I think the last time I was told at least that the junior high won something was in 1985, which is a great year. I don't know if someone was born then, but very, very cool to see that those kids are really celebrating, having a lot of fun. And I know the village is working to do some things for them to celebrate with them too, so expect some more on that. Our communications director is helping out with potentially doing a couple things. So we don't want to let all the secrets out, but it's going to be fun to honor them because it's the right thing to do. And the same goes for our next, get this guys, we got 2 state champions, the Westview Hills Middle School chess team. They are the IESA state champions. Bunch of smart kids. We're going to be inviting them here, and hopefully we can meet them in the near future as well. But that's pretty cool. 2 state champions in a matter of a couple weeks. That's something to be proud of, something to celebrate. So again, we're going to work with them to make sure that we honor them as I think the village should. So very, very cool. State of the Village, again, May 20th at BAM Theater. Expect more information. We got a couple months, but just want to keep highlighting that. Downtown parking opportunities. The village will soon be publishing some updated information regarding downtown parking, as well as a plan to possibly institute a temporary village-sponsored valet service while the Cass and Burlington parking lot is affected due to construction. So more to come on that, and I will pass it over to our village clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a couple updates on Village Hall closures. Village Hall will be closed April 3rd and May 25th. And then block party applications. A recent news release was published regarding these applications, and you can see our website for more details on that. And then last item is the Chamber Community Awards Dinner is April 27th. Tickets are on sale for the annual dinner through the Chamber website, westmontchamber.com. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Johanna Guzzo.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next Fire Public Safety Committee meeting is May 28th here, 4:30 at Village Hall. Everyone is invited to attend. An update on our new fire facility. The fire department will vacate the facility at 6015 South Cass Avenue in early April and move their temporary engine and fire personnel facility to 328 South Wilmette. Fire Department Administration will have a temporary location at 39 East Burlington. Keep your eyes out for future updates as they come in. And then I just want to remind everyone, it's that time of the year, Knights of Columbus Fish Fry, 25 North Cass, Fridays through Good Friday, 5 to 8 p.m. That's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Scales.
Thank you, Mayor. Community Development Committee meeting dates are still the same, April 16th, July 9th, and September 17th. And the next Planning and Zoning Commission meeting is scheduled for April 8th at 6 p.m. right here. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Perilli.
Thank you, Mayor. The Public Works Committee, well, I'm going to try to do a recap. We had our meeting tonight before this meeting. First of all, the Public Works, we went through their annual 2020-25 reports. Lots of good stuff going on in Westmont. Really quick, they did honor the Public Works Department Employee of the Year was Jesse Rapp. And it was an honor for him to get acknowledged by his coworkers for Employee of the Year. And I'm just going to try to mention some projects so I don't take up the whole night that I copied on my phone to list all the projects going on. But there were 8 2025 projects that were completed in 2025, and we have 11 ongoing and upcoming projects coming up for 2026. The North Water Tower, water main replacement, water treatment plant, ComEd relocation, roadway reconstruction, alley reconstruction, pavement preservation. There's a lot of stuff going on. I don't want to list it. I'll be here for all night. And then, every department kind of went through what they did last year. So a lot of good stuff happening in Westmont. All the departments are working very hard to keep our town nice and safe. So I will then move on to the other subjects coming up. There's a river sweep coming up, so they're looking for volunteers are needed, which the river sweep is April 18th, and residents are encouraged to sign up, and that is online, and you register by April 5th. And then for brush, yard waste, and compost programs, Flood Brothers is going to resume pickup on April 6th, as well as free leaf pickup the week of April 6th through the 10th, and you can see the website for more details on that. And then construction projects. If residents are reminded, they can look up any projects on the village website for the most updated status. And then we also are coming up to our Adopt a Planner, so residents and businesses and organizations can sign up for this year's Adopt a Planner program, which is all the planners in the downtown area to make it look pretty. So residents and businesses and others are encouraged to adopt a planner. And that's it for now, or for now, yes.
Well, that's a lot. Thank you, Trustee
Yes.
Perilli, and I think that's just a testament to all the investment that the Public Works and the village have been doing in all of our neighborhoods. So I'm glad you shared some of those, and I'd imagine the rest of them listed will be on our website too. So
Yeah.
if anybody wants to see the full breakdown, highly encourage you to check it out. Tons of investment in this town. Trustee Plowman.
Thank you, Mayor. The next Police Public Safety Committee meeting will be on May 14th, right here in Village Hall. The village is addressing the e-bike and e-scooter safety issues with a program that is scheduled for March 25th, 500 North Cass. That would be at the Police Department at 6:30. The village has created also a new web page on the village website. Visit westmont.illinois.gov/e-bikes for more information. The police department is going to be holding a paper shred event for Special Olympics. It's one of their biggest fundraisers on April 18th, 2026. And then also we have the Drug Take Back Day drop-off on unwanted prescriptions on April 25th at Mariano's and at 500 North Cass. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Little.
Thank you, Mayor. The next Administration Finance Committee meeting will be held April the 2nd, 4:30, right here in Village Hall. Everybody is invited to attend. Also, Pet Palooza, Pet of the Week contest. The entire community is invited to go to our website and sign up their pet for this weekly contest. I haven't done that yet, but I will. All of this effort is to help promote the new Pet Palooza event, which will be at Veterans Memorial Park. They'll be held on May the 16th. Details are on the village website at westmont.illinois.gov. And then don't forget your spring window murals. Businesses can now sign up for spring windows through westmontevents.com. And that's all I have, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Barker.
Thank you, Mayor. The Environmental Improvement Committee will meet again on Monday, April 6th, and we have several things going on currently. There's an electronics recycling and more event out here in front of Village Hall on Saturday, April 4th, the commuter lot, and details are posted on the website. We currently have the Protect Our Pollinators program up and running. You can sign up through the village website to be part of that. That's our former No-Mow program. And then I was just going to add to that, I read a report the other day that said that the monarchs that go to Mexico for hibernation, they go down there and stay at a resort. But that monarch population in that location was up 65%. So some of these environmental efforts are hopefully making a difference.
Getting
Right? All right, and Linda's are getting there, right? Dark Sky Grant Program, the details on the Dark Sky Grant Program have been released. That is also on the website. And then the mayor shared a post the other day to say the city of Chicago, like, I'm trying to figure out what they do right.
Yeah.
But they actually, as far as dark sky compliant, there's a bird migration that happens, and all the tall buildings in the city have their lights on, and the birds fly into these things, and then in the morning they go out and they sweep up the sidewalk of the birds that hit the building and die, right? So they have a program now, I think it's 11 p.m. at night till early morning hours. They're turning off their lights or blocking their lights to prevent this from happening. So hats off to them on this bird migration effort. I'm hoping across the country in the migration paths that a lot of these bigger cities are doing that same thing. We have a tree seedling giveaway. Residents can sign up through the website to receive 3 free tree seedlings on Arbor Day, which is April 24th. And then last but not least, there's a call for artists for the Vision and Vibe Fest that has been published. Please see the website for that information. That is our new event that happens at Veterans Park in September. Great event, great time, costs you nothing. It's all about the arts, it's all about music, and it's a great way to wrap the summer up. So see you at Vision and Vibe. That is all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, moving right on. We do have a public hearing tonight. Appropriations ordinance for fiscal year 2026. Board to conduct a public hearing for the January 1st, 2026 to 12/31/2026 fiscal year appropriation ordinance, and I will ask Director Eltick to walk us through it, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Board. Brief presentation for tonight. So the total appropriations ordinance sought for approval later on tonight under new business totals $189,967,439, and is representative of not only the village but a few other entities as well. Includes the police pension fund, the fire pension fund, and also the Westmont Library. The village's share is $179,487,230. Just a couple things I wanted to point out is, so the reason we passed an appropriations ordinance, as you alluded, this is statutorily required. The village passed this by March of each year. This is baked into our village code and is baked into the state statute that we passed this. So the appropriations ordinance allows the village a lot more administrative flexibility beyond the budget. It sort of bakes in a lot of what-if scenarios that are really unforeseen as we go through the budget process. So a couple examples could be the village needs to buy property for some stormwater improvements. Maybe we didn't necessarily budget for that, but a property comes for sale in a neighborhood that needs some attention. it could be a great opportunity to buy that property and provide some stormwater improvements to that neighborhood. So that's an example where we don't necessarily budget for those things, but administratively it makes a lot of sense as the year progresses. Another couple of examples could be weather events. If we have a large tornado or some other large weather event that comes into town, we don't necessarily budget for those calamities like that. And so this could be multi-million-dollar events. So this provides some administrative ease in terms of getting going on those types of projects and being able to make those improvements necessary to clean up from those events. Next thing I wanted to point out, this doesn't circumvent any of our purchase authorization approval processes. The village board is still going to have contracts come before it for anything over $25,000. This doesn't circumvent any of that process, and this doesn't circumvent any of our control processes that we have in place in terms of staff approvals and department approvals. All that's still going to happen as it would otherwise. So that's the last thing I wanted to point out. If there's any questions for me.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so then I will open up the public hearing. If there's anybody that wants to make any comments from the board or the public, please come on up. Hearing, seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good job. Good. All right, we're going to move right on. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? Hearing none. Assistant Manager Parker, have at it, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight's consent agenda includes village board meeting minutes, both from the regular meeting held March 5th, as well as the 2 strategic planning workshops held March 11th and 12th. It includes the finance ordinance number 6 in the amount of $1,969,384.25. There are no purchase orders, therefore the total of purchase orders and finance ordinances is the same amount. And finally, it also includes a proclamation honoring Bales Lumber and Supply, which we will read after the consent agenda is voted on. That concludes the consent agenda.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second, Plowman.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Motion passes. Have at it, Mr. Parker.
Right, so this is a proclamation honoring over 60 years of Bales Lumber and Supply, Inc. Whereas in 1960, Bales Lumber and Supply, Inc. was incorporated in the village of Westmont by 4 brothers, Leonard, Willard, Jack, and Stan. And whereas when 2 of the 4 brothers eventually started other enterprises, Stan and 1 brother kept the business running. And whereas the original building was destroyed by fire in 1969, creating a change in the business. And whereas the village and the Bank of Westmont assisted the family in rebuilding and creating more than just a lumber yard. And whereas, from a True Value to an Ace Hardware and the lumber yard, the Bales family has served the residents for over 60 years. And whereas Bales is a true family business, with Stan Jr. working in the business since he was a teenager. And whereas the family has decided to retire and is looking forward to having a weekend off, not having one off since 1979, the village honors their legacy. Now, therefore, Stephen T. Nero, by virtue of the authority vested in him as mayor of the village of Westmont, does hereby pronounce and proclaim to all citizens and set seal hereto, declare that the village board of trustees honors Bale Lumber and Supply, LLC, and celebrates their retirement.
Very, very cool. And we have a couple things here, but we'd love to welcome you up to and just maybe tell us. I know there's a lot of history. I heard quite a few stories just chatting with you beforehand, but what an honor. What an accomplishment for your whole family, and 60 years, holy cow. So we all appreciate you and the partnership you've had with the village over the years, but have at it, sir. Appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Mayor, trustees. Good evening and thanks. I'd like to introduce myself. There's already on there. I'm Stanley Bales Jr. Some of you may know me as Stan and Ace. I'd also like to introduce my father, Stanley Bales Sr. Some of you may know him as Stan and Ace. And sitting next to Senior, my lovely wife, together 45 years. Behind me the whole ride, Claudia Bales. Love you, honey. Larry, thanks for the introduction that Larry had put together, giving an excellent short story of the family business. It's very good, thank you. I'd like to take a moment to be able to address and thank all the folks that have been alongside us on this journey of operating our family business over the past 66 years. Wouldn't have been possible without everybody. I'd like to give special thanks to all of our current and most wonderful staff. Thank you. Sorry. It's always been a pleasure and an honor working alongside all of you, and this will truly be missed. And for any of you that may be tuned in, I'd like to thank all of our past staff as well. Wouldn't have gotten here without you. I do remember all of you, and I wish I had kept a scrapbook. Seen a lot of folks come and go. I remember them all. I'd like to give a shout out, an enormous thank you to all of our wonderful customers who have always been loyal and supported us. Some of you folks are multi-generational. Just over my personal 46 years at this store, I've had the pleasure to serve the grandparents, their children, and now some of their children. And it's been a great honor. Now that's loyalty. This will too also be truly missed. I have my home, I'm here just a few blocks south of here, so I'm hoping I'll still see most of you, maybe at the Jewel or one of the Westmont events, cruise night, local restaurants. Don't be surprised if you see me working the floor at one of our other local aces in the future. May need to get my hardware fixed, you know, I truly love it. I'd like to express our gratitude to all the local businesses and churches that have supported us. Many of you neighbors and friends, thank you. I would like to give thanks to all the municipal staff, the Public Works, the Park District, all of the great staff at School Districts 201 and District 60, our fire and police departments. To all you, thanks. I'm almost done. I'd like to thank all the village members, mayor, trustees that have given our family this opportunity. We look forward to continue working with the village throughout this process. Thank you. And I'll end with this. I usually don't like to use metaphors. Our family business has been like a ship. I've had the opportunity to captain it, guide its course, maintain the crew, both in calm waters and rough seas. But now we see a port in the horizon. And to our valued customers and staff, I'll continue to operate and keep this ship steady as it goes, as I would any other day, over the next several months, as I would normally do, until that ship hits port. Thank you. Good night.
Well, we have something special for you and your family, so I'd like to ask the village board to please join me, and we're going to present you with, this is my first one to be able to do this, for your family, one of our village keys, and I think it's going to look great in the Ace Hardware store for a few months at least, so we appreciate it. Come on up, everybody.
Come right up around in there.
They have this thing at Ace Hardware, if you're there for 50 years, you get a golden hammer on it, you get a couple years shy. I'm going to have to...
Brian, you want to get in here? You help put this together. Come on. All right, let's go. Come on. Here in the middle.
Definitely not. All right.
Big crew here. I like that.
All right, here we go. Ready? We're going to do a few of these. Big smile. Here we go. One more. I like one more. All right, we're set. Thank you. Thank
you so much. Thank you.
It's efficient.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
I
right.
allowed to say something?
Yes, please. We've been waiting for it.
My son pretty well covered a lot of things I was going to say. It's been a journey for me. I was 4 brothers that we started a business. I was working at West Grove Auto Parts at the time. My brother Jack was selling newspapers in Chicago. And my oldest brother and my brother just ahead of me, my oldest brother was a contractor doing business with Ogden Avenue Lumber at the time. And when he found out that Mr. Dvorak was having some problems with the government taxes and stuff, and found out that he was trying to sell the business, that's how we got involved. So it was 4 brothers that got together, begged, borrowed, and stole money to get going. And after probably about 5-6 years, the 2 guys that knew nothing about lumber, nothing about hardware, ended up at the store. That was myself and my brother Jack. Jack's 5 years older than me. All my brothers are gone now. I am the last remember of my family of 10 children. It's been a trip that I could write it down. It would take me a long time. You go through stages in your life that don't go in business if you start on April 1st. That's what we did. April 1st of 1960, April Fool's Day. And thank God that any business, any community are seeing ups and downs. It's just a natural way of life, the way it goes. I was very fortunate to have a son that could follow me. And about 15 plus years ago, I felt like it was time for me to sort of take that step away a little bit. And I told Stan, I sat him down, and I said, Stan, I think I've had enough. You're going to run this place, and I'm not going to interfere unless you ask me for help. And that's the way it's been. He's been a blessing. This town has been good for us. I think we've been good for the town.
Yes.
From the day one, we had you as customers, and we appreciate that. I appreciate all the people in town here that have come into the store over the years. And Stan says, I can remember when people came in with their fathers that are now grown adults that have children and grandchildren of their own. And it's a pleasure to see this development through my life. This is a very nice town to live in. It's a good town to be in. And I wish Westmont all the luck in the world to continue on doing the job you're doing for the community. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate everything you've ever done for us. And God bless. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you, and I think that's pretty clear. We appreciate your business, your family. It just goes without saying, you're a gem in this village, and I've heard from a lot of folks the past few days. Although they were sad to hear, they were glad to hear that this was a partnership and that you folks are doing it the right way and time to enjoy some time for your own family. So again, we appreciate all of you, the whole family. You guys did a wonderful job and a wonderful business for many, many years. Stan, do you want to maybe just say real quick, like the timeline and things and what you're planning to still be open? I know that was a lot of questions, and I'm worried about where I got to get smoker pellets from for the summer.
And doing it here is going to save me a lot of time at work so I can get some work done there as well. It's been great working with the village, and things are coming, not quick, but nothing's going to happen fast. So, just tentatively looking at the process going forward here, the best I can probably let folks know is that we're going to stay strong and steady. We got a lot of good weather ahead of us. Spring is a good time to go, and we're just waiting on a break of weather. In fact, this weekend should be a good one, hopefully. With the little break, people are eager to get out, clean their yards, and start to fertilize and stuff and get their seed down. But with all that said, I think once we get through our busy season, usually kids go back to school, the staff kind of lightens up a little bit. We hit dog days of summertime. We'd probably be looking at some point to where we would probably start looking at shutting processes down third quarter, maybe sometime after Labor Day. Continue to keep some stock items in, continue reordering. I've worked with Ace Hardware and such, and they kind of gave me a little insight on how these processes kind of work. And then at that point, we'll probably continue, and obviously, as it would be expected, as inventory depletes, that we would be more aggressive in our markdowns. Eventually have, equipment and fixturing and stuff that we'd have to sell off or get rid of. But at that point, I think it's pretty safe to say we're going to be solid from here all the way through August, maybe even to September. And I just didn't want to put us into inclement weather, trying to work with dumpsters and trying to break down shelving, pack things up, get things shipped out, forklifts in the snow, you don't know. So if we pushed it after the first of the year to start the process, that's going to be tough to do. And then there's going to potentially be inclement weather that might make things more difficult. So we're kind of thinking as far as, business closure, with family and such, maybe by end of calendar year, go steady, strong, and continue and generate sales and keep things going. I can't see any sooner than after Labor Day. So we'll kind of play that by ear. So hopefully that gives some clarity to the community and the customer base, and even businesses, that work with us, and the village and the community and everything there as well. So that's about the best insight I can probably put on where we could think at this point. If that helps.
It does help. You're not going anywhere right away. So
not going anywhere right away, yeah. And then I'll have to admire every day at work today going forward. It's just a different thing, but it's another same regular day at work, and that's how I'm going to continue to do it until the time comes where it's just not going to be happening anymore. But yeah, a great opportunity, and we'll see what to do. But I'll have to find something to keep me busy.
I'm sure you will. Well, thank you for coming. We got a couple more items, and we'll get right back to another one.
All right, thank you.
Big night tonight. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to move right in. We have no unfinished business. We're going to go right into new business. Clover's Garden Center, special use permit, seasonal outdoor retail. Board to consider an ordinance approving a request from Clover's Garden Center LLC, doing business as Clover's Garden Center and Suburbanite Bull Incorporated and Downers Grove National Trust 7628 for the properties at 201 and 209 West Ogden Avenue in Westmont for the following. One, special use permit to operate an outdoor retail sales business, seasonal outdoor garden center in the B2 General Business District. Director Hennerfein.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Clover's Garden Center has been operating during the summer months, I think since '99. So we have brought Jim in here many times to get approvals. We used to do it annually. But why is he here tonight? So basically, he's been successful. He would like to cordon off another section of the back parking lot beyond Suburbanite and expand his business. That area would be to stage, have a greenhouse, have some more storage, and support some of the pickup business that he's generated there. So it's always been successful. We've never had any complaints. The way we've written the special use is that if we receive complaints, we can bring the business in to scrutinize the operations. We've never had to do that, so we've never seen any traffic generation or anything that's been detrimental to the area. I think all of us have shopped there during the summer at some time. But I do have Jim here if you have any questions, and I can answer any you might have as well.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little.
Second, Scales.
Any questions, comments?
The The second, the greenhouse is where the first greenhouse is where they sell it, that tent, is that
Yes,
correct?
yes,
So
the
just
one
be
that's
kind
on
of
Ogden. So basically, there is an area that is south of the main drive that is behind Suburbanite there that they would cordon off now as well.
So it'd just be kind of a duplicate tent,
Yes,
kind of a
similar size.
setup, yeah.
Hearing no more, roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
And Trustee Plotman?
Yes.
Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, moving right on. B, South Fire Station Headquarters Zoning Entitlements. Board to consider an ordinance approving requests from the Village of Westmont for the properties at 6015 South Cass Avenue, 6101 South Cass Avenue, 1000 Beneford Lane, all in Westmont for the following. 1, comprehensive plan map amendment from general commercial and parks/open space to public/semi-public. 2, zoning ordinance map amendment to rezone the properties from the R3 Single Unit Residential District, the R4 General Residential District, and the C1 Commercial District to the PI Public and Institutional District. 3, preliminary plan and final plat of subdivision to consolidate 4 lots into 1. 4, zoning ordinance variance to the maximum size, fuel type, and location of an emergency generator. And 5, major site plan. Director Hennepin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'll start this one out before I turn it over to the Deputy Chief. So what are the logistics of the request here? So first, this is a conglomeration of several properties that we've acquired over time. So the Beneford detention area, the detention area that we built that supports Market Center, the fueling station, and the fire department itself. So first thing we want to do is get the comprehensive plan aligned and combine the many different designations that those properties have and make it a public, semi-public. Next, we want to make sure that the zoning is all aligned because these were also different zone lots over time. And that is zoning it to our newly created PI, which is the Public Institutional District. We're going to consolidate the lots because there's a lot of underlying lots there. So basically, the preliminary and final plat to consolidate those lots all into one. There is a zoning ordinance variance to the generator. Obviously, a fire station has some specific constraints on being able to power itself when the power goes down. So there are variants to the size, the fuel type, and the location of the generator. It's very similar to where the generator is located now. And then finally, it is a major site plan approval. So although the fuel station and the parking is generally staying very similar to what it is now, obviously they're replacing the building. So it is a fairly major endeavor. And then I will turn it over to Tom, and he can elaborate on the project itself.
Thank you, Director Hennepin. As you guys know, we went before the Zoning Commission, and it went very smoothly. We had a couple of residents that came and had some questions, and we were able to answer those questions that night. We've also met with some residents as far as fencing and stuff like that, and they've all been, those meetings have been positive, and they've gone away with answers, and we're happy about it. I'm here tonight to just, I can give you a quick timeline of where the project's at, or answer any of your questions about planning and zoning and how that went. Questions?
So I have one, sir.
Yes, sir.
First of all, thanks to P&Z for all the work that they did. And when I was watching that, I was multitasking, so I missed the part. So the generator, I heard all of that, right? But is it fenced?
So there is a 7-foot fence around the property. The generator has landscaping around it, and the generator's built in such a way that it's sound attenuating, so it decreases the sound level there.
Say that though.
They always say that.
I can hear mine in my office, and it's got a fence around it. There's a lot of reverberation there from whatever noise that is, right? So,
right.
Would we be able to fence it if it became problematic?
I don't think that would be a problem. I've always got my backup team of 845 here. I can talk to them real quick, but I mean, I think the landscaping that we have planned for it, in the future, we could always put a fence there if we wanted to, but the landscaping, I think, is going to do the job for us.
I just know when you test it regularly, if the neighbors that live there have issues with it, do we have the ability to fence it to tone it down, right? You can't quiet it, but you got a barrier, right?
We can't.
That was, You'll figure it out. I'm not worried about that, but
Yeah.
so there's no fencing planned for it.
No fencing right around the generator, just landscaping.
Virgil said it was as quiet as a hairdryer, right?
Hair dryer is what he said,
My
and
wife's hairdryer is very loud.
it's quieter than the current generator we have there. So they should be happy that, like, currently it's getting tested once a week like it is. So even though this one's bigger, it's quieter.
Yeah, thank you.
You bet.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Okay, do we have a motion? We need a motion to approve them.
Motion to approve Guzzo?
Second Little?
Roll call, please.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, thank you. Moving right on. C, appropriations ordinance for the village's fiscal year, January 1st through December 31st this year. And I will ask Director Eltick to walk us through it. Board to consider an ordinance adopting the January 1st through 12/31/2026 fiscal year appropriation ordinance. Director Eltick.
Thank you, Mayor. The total appropriations ordinance sought for approval is $189,967,439. Again, this is required by state statute to pass within the first quarter of the fiscal year, hence why we're here tonight, here in March. So I'm going to add a couple of things. It does provide the village with a lot of financial and administrative ease in terms of being able to react in changing market conditions or just unforeseen village needs throughout the year, some of those changing needs. This is a large appropriations ordinance, but keep in mind this was a large budget that the village passed this year, and so the budget is at the appropriations core. A lot of really great projects baked into the budget in this appropriations ordinance in terms of infrastructure projects impacting our community and our neighborhoods, and the aforementioned fire station that we just talked about. A couple of things I want to point out. There's no material or significant changes in preparation or approach to this appropriations ordinance than what was done in the past. And again, this is subject to, all spending is subject to making sense fiscally for our community and make sure that the village has reserves on place to be able to handle any spending activity throughout the year. That's, if there's any questions, I can answer those now.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Little?
Second, Plowman?
Any questions, comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, thank you. Moving right on. D, intent to reimburse resolution. Board to consider a resolution expressing intent regarding expenditures to be reimbursed from tax increment financing revenues. Assistant Manager Parker.
So this is largely an administrative step that we would do before we issue a new TIF if we need to be making expenditures that we want to be able to be reimbursed through the TIF. So there's some expenditures we have coming up. There's a few different projects we've got going on, and at prior meetings, the village board has talked about how we may need to be looking at doing a TIF to be able to recapture some of these and to make some of the developments we've got coming up a reality, because it takes some time to be able to generate the increment to be able to reimburse developers to make this a profitable expense for them. So this is just our step saying we're going to be spending money now. If we have a TIF, we can reimburse ourselves from that so it doesn't come off of the taxpayers' backs. It can come off of the tax increment instead.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Plowman?
Second, Scales.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, moving right on, the big one here. E, purchase of real estate. Board to consider an ordinance approving a real estate agreement for the purchase of property located at 20 East Quincy Street in Westmont. Assistant Manager Parker.
So this is the Bales property that we're looking to purchase. The plan is to connect that Bales property with the Westmont Center, which we have, and be able to do another development similar to the Quincy Station that we have, similar to the one North Cass we're looking at, to be able to get some additional density in our downtown, to provide that foot traffic, to help our businesses, and to help make our downtown even more vibrant than it is. It's a key to making development work, and being able to put these together allows us to move forward with that development, to be able to bring additional tax revenue into the village, to be able to increase our tax base. That's one of the few ways that we as a village can provide for services for the residents without taxing the residents. Additionally, is to be able to have development, some commercial development that can significantly increase the tax base. And so that's what we're looking to do here. The property was appraised. We had an appraiser go out and determine the fair market value. It came out to the exact number that we are paying for it. It's a purchase that is, amicable on both parts. We're looking forward to this. This is us partnering with Bales to be able to help them with their retirement and be able to spur some great development for the future of our village.
And to confirm, the village isn't forcing Bales out. Bales is a willing seller, as you just heard. If the village didn't step in to buy this, certainly another interested developer would probably do so. But because the village owns the adjacent property, Westmont Center, it seemed to make sense for the village to control both Westmont Center and this property, as it's a more attractive development, presents a more attractive development opportunity.
And I will also add, in the agenda, it talks about how this was initially going to have the closing date happen in January based on an initial request from the property owner. Since that time, we've decided that the closing will actually be before January 1st of 2027, so within this year. But then there's the ability to stay on as they're finalizing things for the next couple of months. So staying on even after the closing.
Thank you. Well, again, it's about planning and putting our best foot forward. And as I've said before, this is a heck of an investment from the village's standpoint. It's a heck of an opportunity for us, and I'll use Trustee Scales' word, to control our destiny here. And I'm excited about the future for this parcels, in plural, I should say, especially for this RFQ, when we're going to be able to go out and be in the driver's seat. And I'm excited to see what the development community is going to bring to the table for this community. And there'll be many more opportunities to discuss potential developments and getting public input and all that good stuff. But this is just the first of many steps, and a heck of a one, and something that I'm really excited for. So I think at that point, why don't we entertain a motion to approve, and then we'll go to comments and see if anybody here from the public wants to say something too?
We have a person here who's interested in comment.
Well, why don't we do comments now then, maybe from the public, since we might have a couple? Does that sound okay? Yeah, great. Anybody want to come on up?
Sorry, I'm going to be a mess.
Oh, that's okay. Thanks for coming. Please just state your name.
Do I know my name? My name is Tammy Deck. I'm the owner of TLD Design Center and Gallery at 26 East Quincy Street. Almost 33 years ago, I was fortunate enough to find a typical Ace Hardware for rent sign in the grass out front of 26 East Quincy Street, and have Stan Jr. tour the space that they then trusted to rent to this artist. It's been 33 years. 4 years sooner than we had talked about at the dumpster. But anyway, I couldn't have imagined better landlords to take me on. And who would have guessed I would be here all this time through COVID and economic downturn. They have been fabulous support of me. And what better than having an Ace Hardware as your landlord? When the water heater goes out, and the air conditioner goes out. And so, of course, I wanted to express my gratitude to them, but I also wanted to take this opportunity to introduce myself to you and invite a reimagining of my new location. Would love to invite the Creative Art Network, the Chamber of Commerce, the Economic Development, anything Westmont. If you want to keep this art business in Westmont, I would love to reimagine, be creative with how this might be possible. I wasn't initially thinking that. I never thought I'd be able to sell my business, since I knew there was a deadline on the location, the lease. And so this is definitely something that, considering my options, didn't know I'd only have 9 months to work on it, but I would love to see. I participated in Visions and Vibes last year. I've already submitted my application this year. And anybody who's known me through the years. I was co-founder of the Westmont Area Friends of the Arts with Ron Green, and we did Arts in the Park with Larry McIntyre, the Special Events Corporation. Participated in Taste of Westmont. We had art contests. We had community art projects. There are pieces, I believe they're hanging in this building, that were a part of the work that I did trying to, support the arts in Westmont. So I think that's it. So anybody who has property that might be suitable, but I really would like to, just hopefully stay in Westmont and maybe reimagine it in such a way that I'm going to be 63 tomorrow.
Hey, happy birthday. All right.
I would love to have my business go forward in the arts. I regularly I offer classes. I've had Australian teachers come to my space here in Westmont, and people from out of state come to attend those classes. You just don't know what's going on behind those mannequin legs that keep getting stolen. But anyway, so thank you for letting me speak. Sorry for the...
You're fine. Thank you for coming, and yes, we want you here, so please, we hope you can find a new home and the time comes. You're in luck
I'm accepting
tonight.
all help.
You have our head of our Chamber of Commerce here, Ms. Kylie Harding, and our Economic Development Consultant, Brian Krajewski.
Well, we have an appointment next Wednesday.
Then you're in good hands. And I'm sure we can help you find a home, and it'd be wonderful to see your new vision for something new here in town.
And I have a art show in my gallery right now, open Wednesday through Saturday, 11 to 6. And I have local artists, several Westmont residents. There's 2 that have art space within my space. And so that's something that, I think that should continue.
Well, it is going to continue. We love art here in Westmont, and because of Trustee Plowman and Trustee Barker, last year it really pumped up a little bit. So we're excited about the Vision Vibe again this year, and hopefully you can again be a part of that too. But we appreciate everything you've done for this community. Sounds like you have a wonderful business.
Thank you.
Yep, great. But please talk to Brian and Kylie before you go, and I'm sure they can help guide you.
There, it's an old-fashioned word. This evening is bittersweet.
It is. Emotional but exciting. Yep.
Yes, it is.
Well, okay, well, we got to get back on track now, Trustee Barker. Do we have a motion? We do not have a motion. We need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve Plowman.
Second, Scales.
Any other comments from the board? I know our Economic Development Consultant's got a couple things too, but...
I have a couple of quick questions.
Go ahead, we'll
if I
ask
could,
the board first.
So what do we currently generate on property taxes from what's on the property now? Maybe this is for Spencer.
Yeah, so right now, the property at Bales generates about $30,000 a year for all the government entities. So most of that goes to the school, a little bit to the village, a tiny bit to the library and park district and county and forest preserve and all those others. But grand total of $30,000.
$30,000 roughly for the Bales property. And then the municipal building that we own is 0, is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
And then in terms of, I know that we don't know what would be developed yet because we haven't had any proposals or anything like that, but if you had to estimate, what would that potentially look like compared to what we have going at Quincy and then compared to what's at potentially at 1 North?
Yeah, so I think the rough estimate would be a little bit over $500,000 a year, so 520, around 500,000. So it's about $500,000 a year more to the taxing entities than what it is currently if we can get this developed. There's a little bit of time before that comes into effect because we've got the TIF, and if we do this, part of that is making sure the development can happen. That's what some of that money has to go towards. But it's a good long-term investment for the community to say, here's another $500,000 to support all the services that happen.
Annually.
Annually.
Annually. And then in terms of, do you know what Quincy Station generates now?
I want to say it's about $350,000 more a year than it used to.
Do you recall what it was prior?
It was kind of a little bit of a rundown strip center and then a park owned by the village, which didn't generate very much. So I think the $350,000 is the net increase.
Okay. And then in terms of 1 North Cass, I know we're talking about a separate property here, but what does that generate now?
So that's nothing right now.
0.
Zero and about to be the $500,000. It's roughly the same size as the Bales and Westmont Center combined, so it'd be about 500,000.
Okay. And then in terms of the purchase agreement, I read through it, and it looks like we have plenty of due diligence contingency timeline to get through anything we need to in terms of property inspection, et cetera.
Yes, yep, we'll be doing those property inspection, soil borings, those kind of things.
And then based on the budget that I saw earlier of 189 million, the 3 million is baked into that as capital available for purchases like
Baked into
this.
the appropriations ordinance for sure.
Okay. All right, that's all I have. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, and for that 3 million, I will also say, what we've experienced in the past is when we sell the property, then we sell it to the developer and they would pay us the same market value. So that's what we're looking at doing. That's what we did with Quincy Station. They bought it for market value. That's what we're looking at doing at One North Cass. That's the same thing we'd be doing here in this area. So
good point.
It's money that we'd be using right now, but would be reimbursed by the developer very soon, and then also covered, with the TIF and the 500,000 that it would generate annually.
It's an investment into our future, almost planting a shade tree for the future.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay.
Absolutely.
So Spencer, I want to piggyback off of Trustee Scales' questions. And how much of each of our dollars go to the school?
So 70% of the property tax in this area goes to the school.
Just
201.
Just having come off of yesterday attending that financial facility meeting, and them telling us of the cuts that they plan on making and that to make their figures work, I highly embrace moments like this where we can not put burden on our landowners, our homeowners, and find value in this. So
yeah, it's a good way to do that, and like we said, it's going to take a little while to have that happen, but it's the investment for the future to help, all the people in the future. It's a huge benefit to the schools in a way that doesn't cause extra taxes for taxpayers.
That's right. I'd like to thank Trustee Scales for asking those questions.
Yes.
That's very valuable to have that information.
It's a big impact.
Absolutely.
Trustee Prilly, I think you had a...
Well, I guess this has been weighing on me, and when I ran to become a village trustee, there were a few things I was, like, in my, just what I wanted to run on. But one of the things I do worry about is because, and I know everything sounds great, but we still owe, right, for the Public Works building. We still are taking out a bond for the fire department. And, I mean, it would be great if we had a project already started, but we're just now starting the project, so we won't have a building there for a while. So it's just hard for me to continually, a board or a village be real estate investors, and nothing against Ace or anything. I'm gonna miss your store, honestly. I don't like going to Home Depot all the time. I go to your place all the time, so we're gonna miss you greatly. So I just kind of wanted to give that for why my reasoning would be a no on this project. And it's nothing against it. I just think we need to, just be cautious with our tax dollars.
Thank you.
Tax spending or whatever.
Any other comments from trustees? Anything from the public? All right, sir, come on up. Our economic development consultant, Brian Krajewski, just wants to share a couple of comments. I know he's been pretty involved in this. And
Mayor, trustees, again, you guys have a tough job dealing with a number of the issues, but it's not unique. Every town comes up with dealing with the same issues, and I've over 30 or 40 years seen towns that want to do a project, they do a study, they put it together, but then only about 10% of it gets executed, and then it winds up board members change, staff changes, new board comes on, they do the same thing, they know there's a need there, they do a study, and they go and they start to execute it, but it needs a strong board and strong staff in order to execute these plans, and it starts over. Just give you two quick examples. I spent a long time ago in Downers Grove. When I came in, we had downtown TIF in place. We needed a parking deck, put a parking deck in place, and when the night we voted on it, the director of Public Works came in with a stack of studies all the way back to '73 about the need for parking decks. So boards put them together, never finally got it implemented. And then just one other one, the Village Hall at Downers Grove. I walked in 1999. It was bought in 1955, ball bearing company, and said it had a 30-year useful life. So they planned in 1986 that they would need a new Village Hall. A lot of repairs. Well, they just built it now in 2026, so 40 years later it finally came across. So I know you have a downtown TIF that was put in place in 2013. I just, grabbed this when I first, was brought in. Just take a look at the plan. I'm just going to point out a few things. You guys weren't around here. I'm not even sure if some of your staff. But in 2000, the Village of Westmont adopted a transit-oriented development plan for the downtown, 2000, an area around the metro station, backed with strong public support. The plan outlined the need for higher density housing in the downtown area, consisting of new mixed-use developments with ground floor retail, upper-level housing, improved mixed uses, and less service-oriented with low traffic uses, and increased public open space. And they also said in the 2000 plan that the downtown would anticipate about 1,000 new residents in the downtown. Then 13 years later, new board, maybe new staff, they put a TIF plan in place, and they adopted the 2013 TIF plan. And in that plan, it'll answer a couple of your board members' questions. They said that the entire value of your downtown, the EAV, was let's round it up, $35 million. And they identified 26 parcels that were ripe for redevelopment. And they said when that was done, the downtown EAV would be worth $331 million. And I can tell you today, I know staff has brought in SB Friedman, it's only gone from 35 million to maybe 45. And to go to Trustee Scales' question, this original plan in 2013 said if you did the developments and you did your TIF over the life of the TIF, the total property taxes received in your downtown, $232,652,866. So almost $250 million had the plan been implemented. Now the good thing is it hasn't, and we have a new board, and I can tell you I've worked with your new village manager, very good. Spencer, phenomenal village manager. I've dealt with village managers for 30 years around the towns here, and can't say that you're an assistant, and you got a good finance guy in Allen who knows these numbers. But again, you're getting ready to put this plan together. The one thing it also said in here, because it talked about Manning School, it said anticipated in going through the development that you would spend $87 million. The first line item is property assembly, acquisition of land, demolition of buildings, site preparation, and site improvements. This is from your 2013 study, $31 million that the village would have spent to help with the developments coming in here. But again, $232 million. So I know today, you have up before you to vote on a $3 million project. In talking with some different developers, they envision about $90 million going there, which is $30 million of EAV. I know your One North Cass property is about a $40 million based on your consultants. That EAV is $13 million. So those two projects alone would be worth the entire downtown Westmont, what's left, just on those two. So you can kind of imagine the magnitude of the tax revenue that would come in with more money or more property valued at a higher price. Now also in Downers Grove, I've gone through this, and we had several businesses. I give you a lot of examples of where we had to build something, we had a tenant there, and we had trustees and staff work, and we found different locations within the downtown. If everybody knows where Every Day's a Sunday was, that wasn't their original location. They were somewhere south of the tracks, but there were several of them that we helped as a village with staff help relocate them in other places to help move forward with the development. So again, you're a new board now, and we're back to studying it again. It happens, every 7 or 8 years. So you got the right, thing. Your public input. It's been here for 20 years along the train tracks. I can tell you that Villa Park, Lombard, Lyle have all had studies and studies over the years, and are all back in the same place you guys are, where new board, new village managers, studies in place, and they're looking to do the exact same thing. So the good thing is you have the ability to control what goes there on that particular property, and help and continue to shape the downtown. Again, we had a 2000 study. Now you have 2013, and now you have a new board here. A lot of you are new, and you got a great staff that I've worked with for the last few months. You know, so you have a good opportunity to whatever the vision is of you seven collectively with your staff. You know, you get a chance to shape the downtown. But again, the ability to replace, you know, a small property value with, you know, a much higher valued property is just like fuel, you know, rocket fuel for taxes, and it gets spread out among newer properties, and that you won't have to rely on your residents. But again, $232 million. So you can imagine going forward, if you continue to do a few projects in the downtown, how that will help, and then with your funding agreement with the school. But that was anticipated. There was 20-some million over the time for, it said repairs to Manning School. But again, you know, a lot of the stuff that you're talking, questions you have, same board members had the same questions and consultants in 2013, another board back in 2000 along the train tracks. And again, I lived it in 2000. Lyle was doing it in Naperville. They were all looking, they all had studies done. Some implemented, some didn't. So again, you know, I can answer any more questions tonight afterwards, but you know, again, I think you have a great opportunity here, and it was great working with the Bales family. Stan, I know his son's watching at home on TV, so he saw his grandfather and his father here. So again, I know you've been a long-time fixture in the town of Westmont. So, and I can answer any questions if he has any. Otherwise, I'll.
Thank you, Brian. Any board member questions for Brian Weiss here?
I just wanted to ask, could you, because you have the expertise, right? Increasing the foot traffic downtown is vital to the businesses that are there now being successful, as well as new businesses going to want to come in, because you have to, like Downers Grove, right? They have people on the sidewalks, and you have to bring those numbers up, right?
Correct. Yeah, the density, and also you have the train tracks here. I know the mayor's had a couple of talks with Metro also. You know, Downers, Lyle, Naperville have the unique train schedules with express trains. So a lot of people want to come to those towns, and I believe they're starting, Mayor, you may know, because I think you work with Metro, I think there's maybe 2 stops now. They're going to go Westmont, Hinsdale, express trains, and also working with Metro on trying to see if they can make one more stop after Downers Main Street before they head into the city, and then one more stop coming back. That just brings more people that want to come to Westmont to board, and when they get off, like you see people in Downers, or whether it's Lyle or Naperville, they get off the train as they're going back to their cars, they'll stop at a local, you know, restaurant or a shop, et cetera. So that also helps bring foot traffic down. And you do have the ability with, you know, potential developments to, like Villa Park, I was just out at a groundbreaking a couple of weeks ago. They're doing in their downtown 232 luxury units with amenities, but they're also including in that garage another, I don't know, 80 or 90 public parking spots that are the villages. So you have the ability to work with developers also to include public parking, which is, I know you had some residents, or excuse me, business owners that were concerned about parking downtown, which is, if you bring more people, you also have to have a place for them to park. And there's infrastructure improvement that was built into your TIF, so the more projects you bring in, the more TIF that comes in, the more ability you have to, you know, redo parking lots, or, you know, potentially a deck down the road. If, you know, that was envisioned also in 2013. They had a parking deck in there, knowing that, you know, that was another thing that would, as the traffic comes in, you need to have a place to park too. So that's something you as a board will have to address.
I have a quick question. Could you just reiterate or summate the amount of potential tax revenue that was accounted for in those studies that we've left on the table for 20 years?
Well, that was the other thing in here. They identified 26 parcels, and they also, of the 26 parcels, they had them in phases. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, Phase 4. The first phase was 3 years, so that would be 2013 to say 2017. It's ironic that the few parcels they had was the Bales property, identified as one of the first ones. The next door to them, Quincy Station and 1 North Cass were 4 of the 7 or 8 on this list. And honestly, on this list, only 1 was done, Quincy Station. But then they had Phase 2, which was another 7 or 8 potential parcels. Phase 3, which is 7 years, another 6, and then Phase 4 was 5 more, 6 more parcels. That was 10 years. That would put you at 2024, 2025, basically where you're at today. And you had 1 done. So, I mean, nothing's really changed from this plan. There's still the same 20, now there's 25, or if you vote tonight, you'll have 1 to control. But, there's the opportunity going forward to continue to implement the plan. Like I said, I think it was here in 2000, it was here in 2013, it's here today. It's just a matter of board members with their staff to execute the plan moving forward. But you have a great opportunity, and it'll be, it'll also help, bringing people in. It'll help with the sales tax. It helps with tax revenue, especially that TIF increment. You can imagine replacing One North Cass is probably nothing right now, but put $40 million building on it. That's 1/3 or what 25% of your entire value of your downtown. Just think about the taxes that come from that one building. One North Cass would be equivalent to 25% of all the properties downtown.
Well, thank you for reviewing all of that old documentation for sure.
Yeah. It's good read if you guys want to do it, but and you can.
It'll be a test later.
I didn't read the 2000 one. I just saw that in here, but I'm sure that Spencer has. But again, it's the same thing along the railroad tracks. And right now, I can tell you in DuPage County, there's a lot of people that want to be along the tracks, and they're looking for communities, whether it's in the downtown and luxury apartment or buying homes, near the train station. I mean, I'm sure that you're seeing some of the people coming to Westmont now around your downtown because they're commuters downtown to Chicago, and it's a great opportunity for them to walk to the train station within a certain distance. And of course, if they're doing that, they also would like to walk into the town. You have great festivals here. That's the one thing I hear about Westmont. Everybody, let's go to Westmont, the cruise night or the different events that you guys do have, and the art fair that they have also here too, which I know Trustee Baker is big with starting to use more of the tourism dollars for the art. So, any other questions?
I was just curious though, what percentage of Westmont is rental? Do we have a percentage of how much?
Do you recall, Joe? Do you know? I know it's over 50%, right? Slightly over.
Of rentals?
Multifamily. If you want to come up.
Come on, Director Hennefine. This is the dream team right here. Brian and Director Hennefine. Nothing those two can't handle.
And I'm basing this off the 2013 comp plan, which was the last comprehensive. At the time, multifamily was about 51%. Now, that obviously doesn't, we don't get a count of single-family homes that are being rented or anything like that. So if anyone is renting their homes, which I think we all know there's a good amount of rental homes, it would be a little bit higher. And obviously, now it doesn't include Quincy Station, really that's the only big project I think that has rentals in it that's come online since that happened.
Still pretty close to that, probably.
Yes.
I can also tell you that, back in the 2000s, whether it was Elmhurst, Downers Road, most of the lenders and the developers know their market. Were all condos, and banks were lending on condos. Today, more people would rather be renters than owners, and hence that's why you're seeing a lot of high-end or just normal apartments going up all throughout DuPage County. They said Villa Park just broke ground. We had Winfield just had a development. Yorktown's got a large one going on. I know Trustee Scales went and toured that the other day when I think you work out over there, but took a tour of those over there. But all the financing and the lenders are doing is multifamily, and that's what the demand is from some of the younger people are not wanting homes or condos, and that's what's being built. So the developers and builders will build what the market wants, and so that tends to be more right now luxury apartments. And that was a switch from 20 years ago.
Brian, in those dense areas, you're not finding, are you finding a lot of families, or is it just more professional?
It's a mixed bag. There's a lot of empty nesters that are selling their kids have gone and they're trying to downsize and going to something smaller. I know Darien and Woodridge, both their mayors are saying the demand in their town are for these small ranches or townhouses because they get elderly people or they want to single, they don't want to go upstairs, but they also don't want the big house anymore. Their kids are gone. You're seeing young professionals. I mean, I think you have some here in downtown, and I can tell you Downers with Midwest University, which is a real massive campus with no housing there. So they just started a new veterinarian school, and they have a dental school and a pharmacy school and a nursing school and a med school. So there's a lot of those kids, and I have seen in some of them, talking to some of the developers, you do have families that are, they have a child or two, and then they start to look for the house. and they're moving out. But most of them, are young professionals that don't have kids. There's very few, especially the ones in the downtown, that have children that are feeding into the schools. So again, some of these are not providing children for the schools, so it's not putting extra demand on the schools, but yet it's generating a lot of tax revenue. It's the same thing with, if you do in Westmont, anything that comes up on like Pasquinelli Drive, you can start doing some maybe, business development up there that just adds tax revenue with no children in your schools.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board? Questions for Brian?
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming. Thank you.
One more comment I would just
Yes.
add. I just would point out, and I know this comes up a little later in the agenda, that if it wasn't purchased by us and was purchased by somebody else, given the current zoning, which is M1, it would remain a limited manufacturing district that would generate the exact same amount or similar amount of property tax. So just throw that out there for consideration.
Appreciate that. Any other comments from the board? Hearing none, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
No.
Motion passes. Okay. Congratulations to the Bales family. All right, we're moving right on. Another big item, F. Irma Withdrawal Resolution 2026. Board to consider a motion approving a resolution authorizing the village to issue a withdrawal notice to the Intergovernmental Risk Management Agency, IRMA. Director Brainerd.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. This was part of our discussion at the last Administration Finance Committee meeting, and we discussed that the village has been a member of the Intergovernmental Risk Management Agency, more commonly known as IRMA, since the late 70s. So it's been determined that it would be prudent to explore other risk management options to ensure that the village has the coverage and pricing model in place that best fits our needs today and into the future. So what this resolution does is preserves our right to receive any of our remaining funds in our account with IRMA once all claims have been paid, should this due diligence investigation determine that going with another risk management provider is in the best interest of both the village and the community that we serve. If, however, this process determines that it's in our best interest to stay with IRMA, we can withdraw this notice as long as we do so by August 31st.
Another big item. We appreciate you doing this and all the hard work to get to this point. I know it's just the next stop, but I think it's going to be a heck of an opportunity, and I think I shared my feelings about it at committee last time. But
You did, and I just want to say this is not just an HR initiative. All village departments and staff have been very, very helpful in gathering the information for the 45 to 50-page applications that we have to complete in order to send to these brokers so that we can get quotes. So thank you to all the village staff for their help.
Great. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion, Scales.
Second, Little?
Any questions, comments from the board? Hearing none, roll call.
Okay, Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, moving on to G, thank you. Special counsel appointment. Board to consider a motion confirming my appointment of special counsel to the village for labor relations matters. Attorney Zemanak.
I sent you an email this afternoon with a revised ordinance that has the name of the attorney and the law firm involved. They are labor relations specialists. There's been a recent notice from the police department sergeants of their intent to organize as a bargaining unit, so the village needs labor counsel to help work through that process.
Very good. And I know the police chief was involved and he shared some information with me, so appreciate the board's support on this. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Barker.
Second, Little?
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Motion passes. Okay, moving right along. H, surplus property, Public Works. Board to consider an ordinance to declare outdated, unused items from the Fleet Division of the Public Works Department as surplus. Director Reese.
This is to declare 17 vehicles and/or pieces of equipment surplus. There's several pickup trucks, there's 2 police vehicles, a 5-ton, or I'm sorry, a 1-ton, 5 tons, some snow blowers, bobcats, and breakers for the bobcats. we declared surplus.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion Scales.
Second Plowman.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Motion passes. All right, the grand finale, 2026 zoning map. Board to consider an ordinance approving the revised zoning map dated March 10th, 2026 is the official 2026 zoning map for the Village of Westmont. Director Henderfine.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we do this every year. So for some of my newer members, before the end of March, every community needs to adopt their zoning map, which basically is reflective of all the changes that we made from the prior year. So basically, anything that happened up until December 31st is reflected on the map. We use this map for a year, and then we'll update it again with whatever changes we have. So usually you have annexations, you have lot splits, you have rezonings that are represented on there. And I can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you, sir. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve, Little?
Second Scales.
Any questions, comments? All right, you're off the hook. Roll call, please.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion passes. Thank you. Okay, anything for miscellaneous? Hearing none, I do not have a request for executive session. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Plowman.
Second, Little?
All right, roll call, please.
Trustee Plowman?
Yes.
Trustee Little?
Yes.
Trustee Barker?
Yes.
Trustee Guzzo?
Yes.
Trustee Pirelli?
Yes.
Trustee Scales?
Yes.
All right, have a good night, everybody. Big meeting. This meeting is adjourned.